honestly, and I write about this in the book, sometimes the only thing that the dog in us understands is pain.
Right.
Because too often we are conditioned as men to live life as if we're the center of the universe.
Yeah.
And as a result, we sometimes can be unaware of the impact that we're having on people in a negative way.
Right.
And especially in relationships, especially when it comes to love, sometimes the most effective thing a woman can do if she loves us and we are not willing to change is to say, I love you, but I gotta love you from afar.
Right.
Because
Right.
her absence may be the only thing that gets us to change. Why do we operate that way? To be honest, I don't know. I truly don't know. But one of the reasons why I wrote the book is to change that.
Absolutely.
Is to change it so that we as men start to say, who do I want to be? And not only who do I want to be, now I have information on how to become it.
Right.
I have information on how to practice mastery, how to put love first, how to practice sacrifice and selflessness, so that I don't get into a situation where the only language I understand is pain.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that ultimately is a result of how we've been living in the culture, but I do think it can change. And I do think it should change. You know, one of the reasons why I wrote the book is because, you know, growing up, my father died when I was 9 years old. Yeah, I'm the middle child of 3 boys. And so I was raised by my mother, my grandmother, and my grandmother's 7 sisters. And, you know, I had a front row seat to their pain. You know, and most of the pain that they experienced were at the hands of men. And I don't mean physical pain, I just mean emotional pain. Of men doing one thing, and saying one thing and doing another. And I talk about this in the book. You know, I found out in my teenage years that my father had an affair on my mother with another woman in the family.
Oh, you were nasty.
Yes.
You were nasty.
Yes. And that devastated me. Because I'm like, well, wait a minute, you know, can we as men be faithful?
Right.
You know, if my father cheated on my mother with another woman in the family, to see the pain that it caused her devastated me. And I began to ask this question, well, why can't men, you know, do all men cheat? And why do we have this behavior? And so this desire to figure it out is what really propelled me on this journey. And then what I found when I got into dating was the more I subscribed to the world's view of a man, the more pain that I was inflicting. Why? Because when I was dating, I wasn't always intentional. And what I mean by intentional, I don't even mean thinking about marriage. I just mean not being honest with the woman I was dating about what was really going on. A lot of times as men, and I'm sorry, I might mess up somebody's date tonight. Yep, okay, here we go. A lot of times as men, and I talk about this in the book, we will date relative to our needs. And that may mean there's somebody we like to date on Tuesday, there's someone we like to date on Thursday, and there's just a special one we date on Saturday night.
You're talking it right now.
I know, I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. But here's what happened. Here's what I began to realize. For a moment, it was fun. What I thought was fun. Oh, this is cool. You know, I can see this one here. I can do this. Da-da. Everything's cool. But then I had a vision from God. And here's what it was. I was at my wedding, and I was standing literally at a ceremony similar, you know, in a building similar to this, where there's a center aisle. And I'm about to get married, and the minister says, turn around. And down the center aisle were all the women I had dated.
Oh.
But here's the catch. They were cut open. They were slain. And God said, do you think it was worth all of them to get here?
Yes.
He said, don't play with my daughters. If you're not serious, let them know and let them go. And so what that did for me was it literally stopped me in my tracks, because up until that moment, I was inflicting pain. Why? Because I wasn't thinking of women as people. I was looking at them as objects for my pleasure.
Oh my God.
And once I shifted and had that vision, I said, I've got to stop. Because what's fun to me, she will live with for a lifetime, because it's not fun for her. She's thinking something's happening. So I put in the book, it's so important to stay out of a gray area. Now I'm going to help somebody here right now. Here's where the gray area, because there are some men, again, who are not willing to do their work. They haven't yet read the book, so they haven't tapped into mastery yet. If you are dating and you are in a gray area, here's a gray area. It's an area where you may talk all the time, you may text all the time, you may have gone to church, with them. You may have met their parents, but never have you asked the question: are we together? Are we committed? Are we single? Are we exclusive? Why is this important? Because a man knows what he has said and what he hasn't. And I guarantee you, even if you see him every day, if he has not told you or you have not asked if you're committed, I guarantee you he thinks you're not.
These are facts. These are my truth.